safe with me. I'll be right here, nice and close so I can speak without alerting the others. Let me tell you about Senua.
Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice is a touching tale full of dark themes with the main character who gives a phenomenal performance. Everything from the combat to exploring adds to the atmosphere and immerses the player into a sinister world that only someone suffering from a serious mental illness could experience. The barriers between reality and fiction are constantly tested in Hellblade, and everything comes together to tell this haunting tale of sacrifice and acceptance.
Which lies the halls of hell.
Hellblade follows a Celtic warrior named Senua as he attempts to cross into the land of the dead from the homeland of the northern men called Helm. Based on Norse mythology, the tales weave together threads of myth, fiction, and fact together, while a unique backdrop explores the darker tones and themes Hellblade has to offer. Senua isn't alone. The voices in her head speak directly to her, offering a mix of aid, encouragement, belittlement, and helpful advice. They argue about her actions, tear her apart during times of dread, and offer rays of hope in difficult situations. It was haunting to see Senua attempt to grasp not only the reality of her situation, but the imagined threats that were made up of vivid dangers. Hellblade uses full-motion video, splicing footage of secondary character performances using distorted filters to create an impactful scene. Both real and animated all have a place in Senua's journey, giving excellent performance that breathed life into the deadly world. Ninja Theory introduced each of these story elements without ever breaking the immersion of the world. Only optional dialogue was rarely cut off. The developers ensured that each piece of dialogue was essential to the story would be provided regardless of how fast the player was moving. Visually, Hellblade is a beautiful game. The use of rain to create dread and sunlight for hope radically changed the field. What was once an environment devoid of any faith quickly changes based on Senua's perspective. The use of the PS4 Pro, which I played Hellblade on, made use of the enhanced visuals provided by the system's added power. With the exception of some minor animation issues, the game ran smoothly at 60 frames per second. Audio plays a massive role in Hellblade, creating situations of trickery, distortion, and aid during the game's frightening psychological sequences. You're one of many of these voices that Senua will have to engage with. She'll even look directly at the screen, aware of your existence and your role in her journey. There's no HUD or tutorial in Hellblade. Instead, the chorus of voices constantly screech information, such as turn back, behind you, and don't let them surround you. For the most part, this works to the game's advantage. Since you're generally pointing in the right direction, getting lost isn't a problem even without an objective marker, and it's made clear what your next objective is during each section of the game. Hellblade's non-existent HUD amplifies the experience by creating this audio-dependent system. You cannot trust what you hear, see, touch, or even feel. Only small bits of reality bleed through the illusion, which creates moments of panic and anxiety that was uncomfortable for most of the time. Exactly what you would expect from a survival horror game, but not an action-adventure game, which made this game such an enduring experience. Senua's own perspective of the environment is what matters. Drawing connections between her beliefs, experiences, and stories about Helm, a different perspective is drawn and laid upon the environment. Doors are blocked by Norse mythology letters, forcing her to search for these shapes to break the barrier. New puzzle elements are introduced, such as using precise viewing angles to reassemble doors and bridges, all while adding to how Senua sees the world. The core of Hellblade's gameplay comes from straightforward combat. Enemies will block Senua's way, and she must use her warrior skills to defeat them. Combat is basic and includes light attacks, heavy attacks, parry, dodge, and charge. Senua also has access to a focus ability. When charged, she can reveal shadow enemies who were previously impervious to damage, increase her own strength, and stun enemies. Surprisingly, while elements repeat themselves, Hellblade never felt tedious. Environments were diverse, and gameplay elements changed often enough. Some elements are introduced for specific situations and abandon the rest of the game, such as using Senua's senses to guide herself through a series of pitch-black rooms that house creatures that look like they came out of Dead Space. Feeling of the sword to flesh or steel feels and sounds exactly right. You'll end up fighting a series of generic enemy types such as heavies, infiltrees, shielded foes, and brutes. These minor battles help you prepare for the boss fights that are intense struggles between mind and foe, forcing Senua to fight both at the same time. Combat becomes tenser knowing that too many deaths will erase your save file. While it may seem like a horrible handicap, it does play into the story. Failure carries meaning rather than a simple gimmick. This ensures that I took each objective, no matter how minor, with absolute focus. If not, the wrath of Senua's mind would consume her.
All of her suffering will have been for nothing.
Hellblade is a masterpiece that brings together storytelling, atmosphere, and gameplay into one powerful adventure. Senua's journey from start to finish features dark and terrifying moments peppered with bits of support and reassurance, showing how much care and attention Ninja Theory put into developing her story. This is an amazing game, and I'm glad that I played it.
You're not a monster.